Hi, so this is Whispers, and I'm going to do the reading for the last week of July 2026. The deck that I'm using is the Enchanted Map deck by Call It Baron Reed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one energy card that you need to focus on for that last week of July 2026. So we're going to start with the sign of Aries. And the card that you have, Aries, is number 4, the Spirit of Place, and it is reversed. And what it says is, don't get entangled in the details or desires that obscure the truth of your situation. Step back and ask yourself, what is the real nature of what I'm looking for, of my question? Even seductively hidden agendas cannot conceal the truth. Trust your intuition. The Spirit of Place is whispering in your ear. You hold the power to tell the truth, first to yourself and then to the world. You can always distinguish between an essence that is true and one that is fabricated or synthetic. So be honest with yourself and remain willing to let your situation be revealed for what it truly is and not what you want it to be or wish it to be. An apple can't become an orange, just as a dog can never be a bird. Are you trying to change someone or something to suit your agenda? Only when you really see things as they truly are will you find the real treasure. And this is basically saying to trust your intuition and look at the reality of a situation and get those rose-colored glasses off, because your life is dealing with the truth and the reality as it is now in your life, okay? So it says authenticity is the essence of your power in that last week. So take those damn rose-colored glasses off and deal with things as they truly are. Just like you can't change a species of an animal, you cannot change the truth from fabrication. So be aware that you're going to find out the truth in that last week of July 2026. Now, it does say the Spirit of Place. So are you going to find out the truth about a situation, a circumstance, a relationship in your life? All right, but be willing to see it for what it truly is. So let us move on, because the second sign, which is Sagittarius, they also got number 4, which is the Spirit of Place. However, the difference is that their card is straight up, whereas Aries was reversed. So straight up, the Spirit of Place says, our ancestors believed that every place has a spirit looking after it, or even embodying it. Just as we have a soul, the plants, the trees, the birds, the mountains, and even the rivers have their own essence. When the Spirit of Place arrives in your reading, it says that the answer to your query is in the overarching theme of your circumstances. Is your question about a struggle? The answer is relax, and let go of your need to control the situation. If your inquiry relates to love, then embody love rather than long for it. Once you find the essential truth that underlies your question and then you name it, you'll discover the answer that you've been looking for all along. So your greatest power is going to be, as I said, through your authenticity. So reversed or straight up, the Spirit of Place, Sagittarius, it's almost like you have a stronghold here. You have a stronghold here. You are believing in something that you're doing. You have a sense of authenticity in your needs, in your wants, in your environment, possibly in your personality, where you're just upfront, you're truthful, you say things factual. You might be a little bit too blunt on the side, and you don't temper it with sensitivities for other people, but you do have this sense of essence. You are who you are, and you need acknowledgement for who it is that you are. So I don't really see much difference between Aries and Sagittarius, except that Aries is still struggling to see their truth. They haven't taken those rose-colored glasses off. Whereas Sagittarius, you have those glasses off, and you're seeing the truth for what it is in all its glory. I mean, this could simply be that you find out that something that you believed is not true. Maybe you believed that you were in a relationship where that relationship was your partner was like totally enamored by you, and they would be with you till death do you part, right? All through eternity. And what you're seeing is that maybe that was based on a fallacy. You're seeing the truth for what it truly is. You don't have those rose-colored glasses on that Aries has. So Aries is still in the process of taking them off and finding the truth in their life. But you have seen it. It's coming face to face with you as we speak. So, like I said, that fourth week of July 2026, everybody is finding their way and they're moving forward in their aspect in their life, okay? And so you're seeing the truth for what it is, and you're going to move forward in a better way, in a stronger way, in a more self-assured way, in a more confident way, because now you know the truth, so you're able to deal. Wow, so in that, the third sign is Aquarius. And Aquarius, you have number 6, the mountain, and it is straight up. So in that fourth week, you're kind of going through the motions. You're going through the motions. You're going through your life, and you're climbing the obstacles, and you're skirting the issues, and you're moving forward in your life. But it's been a struggle. It's been a journey, and it's been an uphill battle, okay? So it does say that sometimes you'll come across what appears to be insurmountable obstacles, like a huge mountain that separates you from your success. So you might think that, climbing that mountain or chiseling away at it is the answer, but why take such a treacherous, tedious approach? Could you not be like the rivers that flow around the mountains naturally? You'll move past that obstacle relatively quickly if you choose the easy way around. I don't know about that. It says this is the time to adapt to your circumstances. If you do decide to climb, remember, take one step at a time and opt for the next right action. So even though you're climbing this mountain and you're skirting around all the issues, okay, there comes a time when you try to do things a little bit easier, a little bit, more rote in your life, okay, where you're able to just, circumvent all the issues that you're dealing with, okay? So there does come a time in your life when you start looking for an easier way to deal with life. I mean, maybe you've been going through and you're attracting more difficulties into your life because you're putting it into the universe. Oh, my life is so bad, and my relationship is horrible, and I hate my job, and I hate my home, and I hate my environment, and I hate. Well, hate's a very strong word, but it also puts that energy out in the universe, and so you get more of what you hate. You get more of hate. You get more of negativity, and you get more obstacles, okay? So what it's saying is that perhaps in that fourth week of July 2026, Aquarius, maybe you need to first, map out a route that is going to take you in more valleys instead of up these steep inclines, okay, in your life, where you start looking at an easier way to deal with your life and a more focused way, okay, and it's going to bring more balance into your life, more peace and more serenity. So sometimes you don't need to choose the mountain. Sometimes you need to figure out a way to just go downstream, right? So floating downstream is another way of dealing with it. But it does say that you have the capacity to flow around any obstacle in your life. And now it may be that time for you to adapt. So that's not a bad thing. And considering that I'm up in age now, I'm no longer a young whippersnapper. There's a lot of times where I look at my life and I think, why am I doing things the hard way? Why do I make this obstacle for myself? Okay, so, and that's what you're dealing with at this point in time, Aquarius. So let us move on to the next sign, and that would be Cancer. And Cancer, you have number 9, the storm field straight up. And the little insert that they have says, "This too shall pass." I like that. That's good. Okay, so yours is straight up, and it says, an uncomfortable chaos is surrounding you at this point in time, and things that you left unattended may just be the cause of some conflict. So it talks about pent-up energy needs to be released. It's like that volcanic energy where it's building and building and building and building, and the pressures are building, and then finally there's this big explosion, okay? So it says, just as a storm in nature has that breaking point, okay? For these events occur, you know, when electricity between opposing forces stir things up, right? It creates some type of temporary disorder, and eventually over time it's going to explode with all this power and all this energy. And you know, not all storms are destructive. Rather, they serve nature by bringing rain to the ground, wind to the trees, and enabling the seeds to be widely distributed and continue to grow, propagate again. And so what I'm seeing is that stop being so scared of growth. Stop being so scared of that explosive energy, okay? You're building that energy. That energy is building to a point where it needs release. And possibly you need release. Possibly you're in a situation now where you need to feel more freedom. And that, my friend, is coming in that 4th week. You've had enough. And this could happen also when you're letting past trauma hold you in, hold you tight into this behavior pattern, okay, where you don't feel like you can grow anymore. You don't feel like you have any freedom. You don't feel like you have any capability to move beyond, okay? And at this point in time, it's building to the point where there is going to be that explosion. There is going to be that explosion of the energy that is going to release you from that self-imposed prison. So that also is a good card. So what I'm seeing here is that a lot of the signs are dealing with moving away from negative energy. And that's what the whole month has really been about. I've seen that in almost every single card. So we're going to move on to Capricorn. And Capricorn, you have a card that I have heard this my whole life. One Ring Circus, card number 15, and yours is straight up. Okay, so I remember my mom talking about a one ring circus when she thought that something was not benefiting anybody. It was just going over and over and over and over again, okay? Just like that carousel wheel. Okay, so here we go. Okay, Capricorn, what it says is that you are capable and you are competent. So independence is the key right now as you step into your journey today. Others may not have the vision or resources that you need, but you need to recognize that all the wisdom that you've acquired along the way is going to make you particularly competent, capable, and capable of moving toward what it is that you need in your life with assurance. And self-reliance is very important at this point in time. So Capricorn, another aspect to consider is creating and maintaining clear boundaries between yourself and another person. Be discerning about your partnerships at this time. When you know who you are and you have a healthy sense of where you end and others begin, you're able to enter into the best kind of relationships and friendships that will attract people who mirror back your wholeness. Interdependent relationships are always mutually supportive, stimulating, and transformative. You can achieve anything that you want at this point in time. So it talks about boundaries. It talks about not doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I have said this time and time again, if you do what you did, you're going to get what you got. But it sounds like, Capricorn, you have finally decided to firm up your boundaries, and you're not willing to let anybody cross those boundaries who will disrespect you in any manner or shape or form. So you're moving into the month of August in a positive way with a lot more strength, okay? Now I see this a lot when perhaps you were being bullied in some aspect in your life, okay? Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a friendship, it could even be in an educational pursuit, okay? You felt like you were being ostracized. You felt like you were being picked on. You felt like you were being isolated, okay? And now as you're moving into the future, you say, I'm not willing to put up with that shit no more. You're not going to bully me. I'm going to stand up for myself. And if you don't like it, keep walking, right? So that's not a bad card. And it just seems like everything is finalizing in this month of July, where everybody is moving forward in their life in a more positive way and with a lot more strength and serenity. Yeah, so that's a good thing. Next one. Leo, you have 22, and it is intention. However, it is reversed. And the reverse card says, are you clear about your intentions? Or are you in a foggy state of denial about what's truly going on, your motives, and even your ambitions? So this is the time to step back and gain a perspective and clarity about your direction. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want your future to look like? So check your motives and ask if they're really, truly sincere. And are they your motives? Are you being influenced in some way? Are you pursuing some goal blindly without asking how much it will cost you, mentally, physically, spiritually? It talks about good intentions are being misinterpreted. So now is the time to evaluate what it is you want and be self-nurturing, okay? You're going to benefit greatly if you take the time to regroup. So I'm kind of seeing that every single sign is dealing with this, right? There's patterns in their life that they need to break, and now's the moment when it's time to break those patterns and to move on in a better and more positive way. So July is the point of transition. Okay, so the next one is Taurus, and the one you have is Golden Palace, and it is reversed, Taurus. And your card says, let go of your tight hold on what you believe security should look like. Now is the time to conserve your energy, count your blessings. Resist the pull to become miserly. There'll be enough money, there'll be enough love, youth, food, shelter to go around. So it does talk about a mindset of fear and lack will shut off the flow of true abundance. The energy that you're putting into the universe is going to hang around, right? So if you're putting anger out, you're going to gain more anger in your life. If you're putting sadness out, you're going to gain more sadness. If you're putting out not having enough, lack, if you're putting out lack into the universe, then you are going to lack the things that you need. And think this way, there will be enough. So there will be enough money and love and youth and food and even shelter to go around. As it says, a mindset of fear and lack is going to shut off that flow of true abundance. So trust in the tides, because the flow always returns from the ebb. It says, chop wood and carry water. As the Chinese proverb says, practice faith and the treasure will be revealed. In fact, you'll find it in plain sight. Once again, Taurus, don't put negative energy into the universe, and you will move forward in a positive way from a place of wealth. So we are now at Virgo, and Virgo, you have number 27, which is home, and it's straight up. And what it says for you, Virgo, it says you are comfortable in your own skin. You belong. Peace, security, safety, belonging, and are all the features one would want from home, and those are indicated now. So the home card represents an invitation to experience what it's like to be secure finally in your own skin, in your own environment, to live comfortably no matter what is happening in the world around you. It's a time for opening your eyes for your tribe of like-minded people. Finding one special person, perhaps, who makes you feel like you've come home. Home is love, and love is all around you. Whatever your inquiry, you are where you are meant to be, and you will reap great benefits by staying on this path, regardless of where it is that you want it to lead. Home will always be with you. It is where the heart is. And this card speaks a lot of truth. It speaks a lot of truth to me, because home is where the heart is. I've heard that my whole life, and I do agree with that. I mean, you could be living in a shack, and if you're happy and you're surrounded by the people you love, that makes your home stable and secure. And perhaps you've been dealing with in this month of July that you're looking for some type of stability and security and family dynamic. And now, as you're moving out of the month of July, you have realized that you actually have what it is that you've always been seeking. So that's definitely a good ending to the month. Okay, so now we're moving on to Gemini. In Gemini, you have card 34 reversed, the spark. And it's reversed. So, Gemini, it says, sometimes your fire gets doused by others who don't want you to be all that you can be, okay? In that case, you need to move away from the water, lest things get too damp. So someone is not giving you the pat on the back that you need. They're kind of, downplaying everything it is that you've achieved, and you need to move away from those. Move away from those energies, because they are like that water that is going to put the fire out. So the spark card in reverse position may also indicate that you're allowing yourself to be consumed by a thought, a feeling, or a situation that you're in danger of becoming completely burnt out. It's almost like you're starting to believe the rhetoric that this idiot is putting in your face. That someone is telling you you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not strong enough, you're not manly enough, you're not womanly enough, okay? They're putting those negative energies in, and you need to quash them. Quash them now, because it will totally exhaust your flame. Wow. A lot of the signs are doing this. You're having to move away from negative sayers. You're having to focus on the positive energy that you're putting into the universe. Wow. So it talks about compulsion and impulsivity have to be tempered right now, okay? Rest by a warm fire. Let things die down a bit. And then you'll see if the true spark will be there. If not, you can always light another fire at another time, right? So do what you're doing and put energy into it. And if that flame dies, you will know. You don't need somebody else to put your fire out. You will know if those energies are not what you have built up, okay? So you're building your own fire. You're building your own fire. You're stoking your own fire. And in time, that fire will be roaring. So congratulations, because it does talk about you moving into the next part of your life with more positivity, okay? And more of that fire that's burning within you. So congratulations. Okay, so we are now at Libra. And Libra, you have card 44. And it is straight up, and that talks about strength. And it says, your true strength comes not from self-reliance alone, but from a sincere faith in a higher power. And it says, the strength to accomplish even the most daunting task is yours at this time. You can connect with and channel the power of the universe. The strength card indicates that your ideas are being tested and refined, and your relationships are deepening. No matter what is happening, nothing can move you off the course of evolution. As the potency of your connections becomes more obvious, you're able to harness the creative energies that are available to you. Have courage and dive in, for magic is in the process of finding love and finding a form to take that love. When you remember that real strength comes from a combination of your efforts and reliance on a higher power working through you, all is possible. You can do anything now. So it does say, Libra, that you have made the right choices. You have moved forward in the right aspect in your life. And indeed, you are going to be very successful. So be aware of that. Be aware of that and hold on to that inner strength and believe in your inner power and in your divine, whoever that may be, because you will be successful. Okay, so we are now these readings are getting very, they're short, they're quick, because it almost seems like there's a finality, okay? You went through all this trauma in the month, trying to focus and trying to organize and trying to find that serenity and security in your life, in your environment, in your relationships. And now as you're moving out of the month, it's like a quick energy. And don't forget, we have a full moon coming on the 29th, right, of July. So that brings chaotic energy with it. And these energies will feed through the whole month. They will bleed into each day as you get toward that full moon energy. So the next card we have is Scorpio. And Scorpio is reversed. Card number 45, and it is the sad embrace. Okay, so Scorpio, it says, are you suffering over your suffering? Do you feel that life is treating you unfairly and that you've been robbed or deprived of what you're entitled to? Do you long for a love that eludes you, or even a success that has been bestowed upon other people and not you? Righteous anger and a sense of entitlement might lead you to a trap of ego. So your suffering and your loss will pass if you let them. Don't dwell on them. Don't hold on to them, because you're building that self-imposed prison that we all do at many times in our life, where we blame ourselves for the fact that we're not as rich, or we're not as famous, or we're not as, well-to-do as other people, okay? So if you hold on to your perception of unfairness, then you'll find yourself in a tight grip and you're unable to breathe freely. The only solution is to drop that victim stance that you have. Embrace the sadness so that it can dissipate naturally in time. So trials and tribulations build character, which is its own gift in itself. So find something to be grateful for and take responsibility for your part in all matters. You know what? However painful it may be to sit with how sad you are or how placated you feel, okay, remember, you're loved. And you're not going to be left to drift forever. Have faith, for this too shall pass. We've heard that many times in our life, right? So you're not a victim. You're a traveler on a hero's journey. I absolutely love that sentence. Let's say it again. You are not a victim, only a traveler on a hero's journey. It's okay to be disappointed for now, but someday you're going to look back and you're going to see the wisdom and the experience that you gain from what you have gone through. So once again, you're moving forward, you're moving on with a positive energy. So you're looking at the defeats and the disappointments in your life, and you're kind of reframing them, okay? So let us move to the last card. And the last sign is Pisces. Pisces, and you got card 50 straight up, and it is the compass. So Pisces, it sounds like you're trying to find your way, okay? You've got that compass out and you're trying to find your way. And it says, as long as you orientate your compass to true north, the direction of your higher power, you will never be lost. So you know where it is that you need to go. You know where it is, or what it is you need to do, okay? So just follow that path and it will lead you to success. So let's read what it says. You're entering uncharted territories right now. You can expect wonderful new experiences. Stay on the highest path of your destiny and you'll keep that compass pointed to true north. Only spirit or a higher power can serve this function. So money, prosperity, prestige, romance, and even other material achievements, they can't help you find your true path. They won't truly make you happy, okay? They're simply things that you may experience along your life journey. Sometimes you're rich, sometimes you're poor, but it's the journey that counts. So it says, know that spirit is working in your life, so even if you feel lost and confused, you don't know what to do or where to go or who to trust or what to believe, or right? It's going to be easy to find your way. It will be, because spirit is working with you. So have faith and trust in your compass. Spirit is your true north. And spirit will ensure that you never, ever again will be lost, even on a starless night when all seems dark. Oh, well, that almost makes you cry. So Pisces, it sounds like you have been dealing with a sense of loss, a loss of your vision or a loss of direction, or maybe you even just simply feel like you don't belong anywhere, okay? Well, that's not true. That's not true. And you're going to find out at the end of July that indeed your compass is set to your true north and you are going to find your path where you belong. the place you belong, the people you belong with, the energies that belong to your life, okay? And you will be successful. So July is a stepping off point, and I am so excited for you. I can't wait to get finished with the August readings, which are in the process right now. I'm almost done, so be prepared for them. They are going to be very, very long and extended. And indeed, you're moving into some positive territory. Just stay strong and follow your compass. So I shall see you in August. Namaste, my friends. Stay safe. Bye-bye.